What's up, guys? Thanks for checking out the channel again today. We're continuing on our Cruel Seas series of scenario reviews, and as we continue on here, the missions get a little bit more advanced each time, bringing in more of the complete rule set. So this one here, Scenario 5, Destroy the Convoy, is a little bit similar to one of the earlier missions, but just in a little bit bigger and more detail. So the objective for the defender is to escort two of their merchant vessels off the western table edge, while the attacker naturally is there to destroy the merchants. So on deployment, the forces are attackers versus defenders. Each player rolls a d10. The highest will be the attacker. Defender gets the merchant ships added to their forces for free, plus the value of any single weapon system they wish to add to each of the merchant vessels. So it's not like they're going to be 100% undefended. All vessels start the game at combat speed as well. So the defender's force is a convoy that is composed of two merchant vessels, one of which is the target of the attack. It's defended by four vessels, two of which must be slow vessels with a max speed of 18 knots or less. For example, armed trawlers, F-lighters, the Siebel ferries, four-posten boat, well armed but slow. The last two can be medium MBTs or similar, fast and powerful. So the merchant's crews must be inexperienced, whilst the escorting vessels are regular. The defender picks a short edge of the table and deploys the last ship in the convoy with its stern exactly 5 centimeters from the edge within their deployment area. Then the defender places the rest of their vessels in one or two lines, with all ships being no more than 5 centimeters apart. And then before the attacker's boats enter the scene, the defender performs one full move at the speed of their choice for each of the defending ships. After this, the convoy dice system is used, and we'll talk about that in a moment. That is an interesting little rule to make some of these bigger games go faster, at least potentially. The attacker's force is made up of four vessels, which can be, for example, 3 MTBs of any type, supported by one slightly larger vessel, for example, a Fairmile D for the British, R boat for the Germans, or similar other belligerents. So again, this does not always have to be Germans versus Brits, so please use whatever forces you have on hand with just some minor modifications. The 3 MBTs act as the main attack and then can enter the board as a group anywhere along the side opposite the convoy. To enter the battlefield, place the back of the ship touching the edge of the board and place the wake showing combat speed. The supporting vessels arrive after the first dice arrives after the first dice has been drawn out of the bag. Add a dice for the vessel after the first activation. And you could do that a little bit later if you do want to add a little bit more suspense. The supporting vessel can come on from either the east or the west edge up to halfway up the shorter side of the table, as shown on the scenario map. So that's that yellow area there. The first move must be at combat speed. This simulates the careful planning of the attacker, attackers who have advanced knowledge of the convoy's progress. And basically, all these vessels are regular crews. So you have the defender trying to basically sneak across the board here and get their convoy off, and then the attackers will be coming on here with the other vessel coming in on up to a little bit on the short edge here. Pretty neat deployment there, and it's definitely going to be a challenge for you to get those merchant tankers off the table and keeping them alive. That being said, of course, a good way to start working on that is to maybe kill off some of the attackers. But anyway, the map plays a mixture of terrain pieces up to 4 in total, whether it's small islands, shoals, sandbanks, small minefields, or even some rocky outcrops, and basically you just alternate putting those there wherever it's not in a deployment zone. And at least 20 centimeters apart. And basically, as soon as a bow of a ship is off the table, then the whole ship is off the table. So that's all you got to do for your merchant tankers. The convoy system basically is there. The little side note here to make bigger games potentially go faster. So basically, convoy dice, when pulled out of the bag, allows you to issue one order to all of the designated ships within a convoy. So think of it almost like activating a squadron, but the ships have to be essentially the same, going the same speed as well, and do the same things. So in a lot of cases that won't be possible, so that is something that will kind of hamper that. Additionally, the game will basically continue until either the merchants make it off or they're sunk. So a couple things to keep in mind there. Then finally, the victory side. The defender wins decisively if the designated target vessel and the other merchantmen exit the board. On the opposite side of the table is used for deployment. If only the designated merchantman exits, then it's just a partial victory. Alternately, the attacker wins decisively if both are destroyed or incapacitated. And if the target vessel is destroyed, captured, or permanently incapacitated, but the other makes it off the board, then that's how you get a partial victory. So ultimately, there is no draw in this unless you just want to have a mutual agreement here, I guess, to end the game, maybe do like time constraints or something like that. But a fun mission that brings in some of the concepts from one of the earlier missions where you were escorting a ship, and just kind of cranks that up into a much bigger game now with more ships, not just the tankers, but more ships on each side with a little bit of variety in the size and capabilities there. So introducing different ranges and firepowers potentially, and weapon systems. So, all in all, just a great mission that builds on one of the earlier ones, and again, introduces a thing here, this concept of the convoy dice system, which you can potentially modify a little bit to suit your own needs as well for those larger games, just to make things keep going at a good clip. So, overall, just a great mission that, again, builds off of the earlier ones. So, Scenario 5, Destroy the Convoy. Let us know in the comments, guys, what your experience has been with that. Do you enjoy this kind of mission? It's one of the things that the game really does allow you to focus on, given the nature of the type of combat that it's representing, that you don't always get in other games where they're kind of featuring grand, massive battles. So, again, let us know in the comments, and leave us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for stopping in.